Hey there, Chef Kris here at the Clubhouse with another one of our virtual chef's presentations. As a chef, I love the traditional artisanal ways that people around the world, but mostly in America, how we preserved our food, how we created our food before there were combi ovens or CVAPs or sous vide machines, all that new stuff. When we were back living in log cabins and living in small communities and creating artisanal foods, we use techniques like smoking, curing, brining, and what I'm going to show you today, pickling. I'm sure you've got stuff in your fridge that you're just not going to eat, or oh, there's a bag of radishes that's been back there since Easter. Let's go ahead and just get that out of the way. So what I want to show you today is a technique that you can use to save those vegetables or save the food products in your kitchen that you're not going to use all the way, but you want to do something with them before they go bad. So today we're going to be doing bread and butter pickles. And let me explain about bread and butter pickles. Someone asked me, what does that even mean? It doesn't taste like bread, it doesn't have any butter in it. Why do you call it a bread and butter pickle? So after extensive amounts of research, throw it in your Google machine, I found out that the reason they called those pickles bread and butter pickles was during the Great Depression, people of minimal means would make sandwiches out of the pickles. So it was a slice of white bread, some butter, the pickles, and another slice of white bread with butter. And that's how you stayed within your means, within a budget. And they became known as bread and butter pickles, but they are phenomenal. Great flavor, nice sweet and sour with a little bit of zip. There's some turmeric spice in there, and I add a little bit of heat with my sweet, because you know me. So check out this recipe for bread and butter pickles made the spring run way. So the first step in making pickles, especially these bread and butter pickles, oddly enough, is curing your cucumbers and your onions. So we've got about 2 cucumbers worth here. I'm going to add that. We've got our 1 onion here, Vidalia, Florida. Right there, we're going to add that. And then we're just going to drop this. This is canning salt. If you want to use sea salt, if you want to use kosher salt, again, that's fine, but if you can find yourself some canning salt and use that, that's lovely. You just want to give them a good toss. Whoop. They jump out of the bowl sometimes. Okay. And basically you're creating a brine. We're going to take these, and we want to keep them still crisp, but we want that salt to get into them. So we're going to cover them with ice. If you have crushed ice, I would encourage you to use that, but we have this nice cube ice. And we're going to let this sit in our fridge for 3 hours. And then once that's done, we're going to drain it and then rinse it and then drain it again. And then we're going to make our pickle juice. So we've got our cured pickles that we've drained, rinsed, and drained again. And now we've got them in a nice ball jar. As you can see here, we got a good mixture of cucumbers and onions throughout the jar. We're going to make our pickle liquid, pickle juice. We start with 2 cups of plain white sugar. And a cup and a half of plain white distilled vinegar. Now, obviously, any vinegar you want to use is going to go well with this. I wouldn't recommend using balsamic because that's really going to darken up your cucumbers, but if you wanted to use apple cider, if you wanted to use rice wine, if you wanted to use a little bit of red wine vinegar, just change it up as you see fit. It's your dish. Okay? And so now the basic tenets of the bread and butter pickles, we have mustard seed. We're going to drop that in there. Got a little celery seed there. I'm going to drop that in. Again, about 2 tablespoons of those. Got a little turmeric. That's what gives the bread and butter pickles their yellow color. And a little bit of earthy kind of flavor. About a tablespoon of that. And then I've got about 1/2 teaspoon of ground clove. Again, gives it a little woodsy flavor, a little zip, that clovey flavor that everybody loves. And now I'm different. I like heat with my sweet. Traditionally, you don't see red pepper flakes in a bread and butter pickle, but I'm different. I do my own thing, and so I put it in there. And so we're gonna let this boil. Let me give it a little stir. And once it comes up to a boil, we'll show you what it looks like, and we'll show you how we put it in our pickle jar. So we brought our pickling brine to a solid boil for about a minute. Let it come down a little bit. We've got our pickles and onions in our jar. Got a little funnel here. We're gonna take it and just pour, so we're not getting it everywhere. Pour it right down the funnel. We're gonna let that jar fill up. Without spilling it all over our counter or our workstation, using a ladle. And now you can add whatever you want to this jar. If you want to put garlic cloves in there, if you want to add some squash or some tomatoes, whatever you like. This is your baby, but you want to fill it until just the wide rim up here, so that there's enough room for the vacuum to take place. So we got a hot jar with hot liquid, and everything's going to sit there and pickle. So we're going to put our lid on, put our vacuum seal lid on, and then put the ring around. Screw that nice and tight. You can see there's a little air in there, but it's not too much. We're gonna let that sit for overnight, maybe a couple days, and then we're gonna enjoy us some bread and butter pickles. And so that's it. There's our final product, bread and butter pickles. Thank you for spending a little time. Let me go over one of my passions with you. Remember, if you've got any suggestions, any questions, you can see me here at the clubhouse, or you can hit me at this email, souschef@springrun.com. Always happy to take suggestions. I'm always happy to interact with you guys. I miss you guys. So that's it. Once again, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you next time here at the clubhouse.